on the far side of town, sharing a dream with anyone. She's made it through heaven, she's made it through hell. It's just another story to tell. Have you ever felt you're missing the dream? Have you ever wished your life was like the movie on the screen, filled with heartbreaks and fights through Hollywood nights? Making up a bar queen on the phone in the great big boulevard, the place she belongs. It's just another story she tells. Have you ever felt you're missing the dream? Have you ever wished your life was like the movie on the screen, filled with heartbreaks and fights through Hollywood nights? Through Hollywood nights. Through Hollywood nights. You always looked after me, brother, when we were children. You always had my back. You took all the blame when our father caught us doing things that drove him mad. Through the years I could lean on you when I messed up. I'd call you in the night, but I broke too many promises and we split up. Though I still need ya, you gotta save me now. I'm slipping so far down, it's only you I trust to set me free from this. I don't know how I got into this awful spot. I don't know where it ends, so I can use your helping hand tonight. I wanna say that I'm sorry, I got sidetracked and I left you in the cold. I've seen your side of the story, I felt the drawback. My mistake took its toll. Finally, I have realized I was dead wrong. I wasn't thinking straight. No more lies, and from here on out I'll be better, 'cause I still need ya. You gotta save me now. I'm slipping so far down, it's only you I trust to set me free from this. I don't know how I got into this awful spot. I don't know where it ends, so I could use your helping hand tonight.
From the start to the finish, go hard and we winning. It's the heart of a villain, it's the heart of a villain. From the start to the finish, go hard and we winning. It's the heart of a villain, it's the heart of a villain. Hey yo, heart of a villain beats hard in the centrifuge. Bearded BP, 100 interviews. All it takes is 2 mics and 1 line. This is Bearded Villains podcast worldwide. Driving cross countries, getting ball tires. Fam across ponds, always inspired. Chapters connect, and then it's on fire. Check your phone, cause BV is like a live wire. They said that we couldn't do it and that another could. Never underestimate the power of brotherhood. Every bro, every chapter, every caption. Heart of a villain, bro, lights, camera, action. Action, action, action. Let's go. From the start to the finish, go hard and we winning. It's the heart of a villain, it's the heart of a villain. From the start to the finish, go hard and we winning. It's the heart of a villain, it's the heart of a villain. From the start to the finish, go hard and we winning. It's the heart of a villain, it's the heart of a villain. From the start to the finish, go hard and we winning. It's the heart, it's the heart.
Thursday night edition of The Heart of a Villain, the podcast and live stream devoted to the Bearded Villains Worldwide Brotherhood and the lives they are changing all over the world. Boys and girls, happy Thursday night. It is the 16th already, the 16th of December. I'm kind of shocked. I can't believe that we are less than 10 days away from Christmas. And I said a few weeks ago that this year had kind of flown by, and now, I mean, geez, this last month of the year is flying by in typical fashion for the year. So it's December 16th. I hope everybody's getting what they need to do for the holiday season. This is kind of a crazy time. Because just when we thought, what's the line from the old Godfather movie? Just when you thought you were out, they pull you back in. Just when we thought we were safe and all this COVID stuff was behind us for the most part, Omicron comes through and whatever it is, or the Delta variant that's still hanging around or whatever it is, we're starting to see some things start to hop down and lock down again, it sounds like. So fingers crossed that that's not going to be a problem for us in the coming months and into 2022, because we just came out of this 2020 thing. And 2021 was an awesome year for us and for our brothers out there. And for the most part, as far as, you know, what we were able to do, get back to what we know how to do as BV. And a lot of chapters had a lot of good year, a lot of good charitable efforts, did some really good things in the world. And one of the things that we do here is focus on that. We like to put a little bit of spotlight on that. We're going to do that here in just a few minutes. But again, this is episode 113 of The Heart of a Villain. Guys, thank you so much for being here. Tonight, we are going to again, we're going to talk about a little bit of some of the charitable efforts and things that our chapters are up to, some merch things, and we're also going to be checking in with some of our contestants. I don't know if you would say contestants, but participants. A few of the people that participated in our one-word challenge that we started off the year with. If you'll remember, way back in January, I was floating around the internet and I heard about this thing that was out there that some people were doing called a one-word challenge. I didn't invent the idea, but I thought it was a really cool idea to focus on one word for the year and let that one word push you, drive you, be an inspiration to you in everything that you do for the next year. And we had a bunch of people participate in this thing. I've checked in with a few people throughout the year at different intervals to see how they were doing with their one word and how it was inspiring them as the year went on. Had some really cool responses from that. But here we are. We are 2 weeks out from the end of the year. And so I want to check back in with some people, and I'll be doing that in the next couple of episodes here, checking back in with the people that we haven't heard from, a few that we have heard from. And it's refreshing to see that some people now, Obviously, it's not on the forefront of your mind the entire year. It's not something that you have plastered like a tattoo on your arm and you can always look down on it. But if it's something that was near and dear enough to your heart to come up with and think about, the hope is that it was something that would help drive you through the year, and periodically you would remember this word was important to me for some reason. And so again, we're going to be touching base with a few people and getting some responses back from people about what they did for this year with their one word. As always, thanks to everybody here live tuning in with us. And I want to say hi to some of our brothers and sisters out there, friends of the podcast family. And you'll notice I'm looking way, way up tonight because tonight is the first night that I'm utilizing the new stream machine. And hopefully there's no glitches or anything else that's going to occur while I'm here, because so far so good. This thing is running crazy fast, smooth. It's awesome. I love it. So fingers crossed that continues to go. It's doing great. So I want to say hi to Rob. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night, whatever it is for you over there working hard. Rob over in the UK. Daniel, Mr. Marsala is hanging out with us as well. K-Mac in the house. ENC. They were all looking for me early tonight. Look, I like that. I like that. I don't remember which one of y'all it is. So you have to tell me in the comments section. Sabbath. I'm having a hard time remembering which person that is in our BV family there, or in the Heart of a Villain family. These YouTube names are throwing me off sometimes. Big Mike's in the house with us. Also, the OSW official chapter page is out there hanging out with us tonight, as is Mars. Mars did a little live on IG a little bit ago, talking some merch. We'll get into that in a little bit. I may mention that again. If you're lucky there, Mars, I might just mention it. Mr. Fetters, how you doing, Rob? Thanks for hanging out with us here. Good to see you. Good to see you. Ty is in the house hanging out with us also. How you doing, Ty? Mr. Joker, always love seeing you here. Scrolling through here, we got El Gato. Mike's in the house as well with us. Mike gave me a nice little video about what his one word was for the year and a little update for him. We're gonna talk about that in just a few minutes. He's had a good year. So that's what we're hoping for. I hope to be able to bring somebody in live if he ever pays attention to his IG. We were talking earlier today, and he was willing to do an update. He's been very, very busy today, though. So the hope was that we could bring him in live to the podcast tonight. We'll see how that goes. See if that works out for us. Whether or not we're able to do that, I don't know. Fingers crossed, right? We'll try and see what happens. If he ever gets back to me and reads his message, we'll see. Well, anyway, guys, thanks for being here live. As always, love it. Love what you guys are about. This whole podcast thing, this whole live stream thing is about talking about what our chapters, what our brothers are up to. And it's so fun for me. It's so refreshing for me to see the lengths, truly the lengths to which our chapters are doing some crazy awesome stuff out there in the world. So it's, like I said, it's constantly inspiring for me. So I want to get into some chapter merch that I do have listed here, and some of this stuff, hopefully all of the stuff that I'm mentioning is active. Best I could tell, it still is. And if there's something that I'm missing from your chapter, I do apologize in advance and currently for not including you in here. I do the best I can to stay up on stuff, searching things. So if I don't get you, make sure you send me a message and I will include you in there. To my knowledge, the North Texas Villains are still doing they still have a few of these patches available that they were raising money for Hollywood. And Hollywood passed away. They did a memorial patch for him, $15. NorthTexasVillains.BigCartel.com is where you can grab those. They are numbered patches with a numbered card. and check those out. I do believe there's still some available, but you know what? If there's not, then I'm really happy because that means they sold them out, and all the proceeds from that are going to his family. The Bearded Villains Lakeshore, aside from a merch drop that they just announced today, they, I do believe, still have some of their 1-year patch. I'm sure Mars, if he's in the live stream right now in the chat, will let me know if I'm incorrect, if they sold out of those. $12 with a really cool card display that came with them. LakeshoreVillains.com is the place to go to get those. And we'll mention a little later. I'll just tell you right now, go over to the Lakeshore Villains Instagram, because he did a live stream just a little bit ago on Instagram talking merch about a new huge merch release that their chapter is doing. And so with everything that they do, it's awesome. So you don't want to miss out. Absolutely not. So if you want a shirt, if you want a hat, they got a whole bunch of stuff available, plus these patches still. He's just confirmed that with me. So get over to lakeshorevillains.com. This time of year, guys, you're going to get merched out. There's going to be merch coming out of everybody's ears over the next several months. But do yourself a favor, because when some of this stuff goes, it goes, and then you don't want to be that person on the outs looking back in saying, I wish I would have, could have, should have gotten that. So that's the place to go. Next up, BVOSW. To my knowledge, this is all still available. 5-year patch and shirt. This patch is like an old bronze gold color stitched. It looks awesome. 5 years, OSW. And then they've got their FYI shirts that are raising money for the FYI Fortitude Youth Initiative. Very, very cool stuff. So head over there to bvosw.com and grab your OSW merch. Next up, this is the last point at which this ENC new X Factor patch, it was on a 2-week pre-order. To my knowledge, based on my math and backtracking when they first posted this, it was 2 weeks, and it should still be available right now unless the times didn't jive. But if you're interested, hit up the chapter IG, Bearded Villains ENC, for details on this really cool ENC X Factor patch that they got there. And then the BV Toronto chapter, they just released new patches available. Help support their annual toy drive, $10 Canadian. Follow the link on their Instagram page for these bad boys. They are a very nice stitched patch that they have going for you there. And that is the merch that I have right now on the line. So please hang out with us a little bit longer here. We've got some fun stuff here. I want to focus now on I want to focus now on a few of our chapters that are doing some really cool stuff out there. A lot of charity-driven stuff this time of year especially. And sometimes this is the stuff that we sometimes overlook. This is the stuff that, everybody's doing it type of stuff. But you know what? Not everybody is doing it. Not everybody's allowed to do it. There are still some places that have been locked down for most of this year, as we'll find out when one of our people come on a little bit in just a few minutes. But I want to talk for a second about some chapter news. Some of our chapters doing some really, really cool stuff. Down in Bogota, BV Bogota doing some really fun stuff. They put together 52 packages, care packages, looks like food items and whatnot for children and their families. This time of year, man, that's what you need. Any time of year, really. But great job, BV Bogota. As I said, guys, worldwide. This is a worldwide brotherhood. We're going to talk about chapters worldwide. That's what we're about here. That's what the Heart of a Villain is all about. BV West Washington participated in a food drive. Check this out if you're looking live. If not, get over to the West Washington chapter page and look at the pictures that they grabbed from this. They filled up 2 huge boxes worth of food items. And congrats to the West Washington boys for taking that on. Great to see. Bearded Villains Welsh chapter. The Welsh chapter, They raised money and purchased items for the Ronald McDonald House. Such a worthwhile cause. I love that the Ronald McDonald House is all over the world, and they do the same thing everywhere you go. I love that. Such a worthy cause. So congrats to the Welsh chapter. I'll be mentioning something else that the Welsh chapter is doing in just a minute. But the Welsh chapter raised money and purchased these items for the Ronald McDonald House. Also here closer to home, Bearded Villains of Indiana, BVIN. They did a twofer this week. A twofer. Bearded Villains, Indiana, assisting with the last weekend with the Twisted Toy Drive. This is a really cool toy drive that they do. They partner up with Twisted organization. I can't remember I think it's a car club, I think. But they raise so many different. The toy drive itself brings in so many toys for the kids down there in Indianapolis area. So very, very cool to see. And then, if that wasn't enough, they had a big week. They decided to go hang out at the Ronald McDonald House again. BVIN continued. This week, yesterday, I believe it was, they went to the Ronald McDonald House and dropped off some much-needed items there at the Ronald McDonald House as well. So big congrats to BVIN, Bearded Villains, Indiana, for stepping up and doing some really cool stuff there. And then down in the southern part of the world, depending on which way you look, Victoria, the BV Victoria chapter, supporting the Monash Children's Hospital toy drive. They got busy with it and did some really, really good stuff there. Brought in a whole bunch of toy items for the Children's Hospital. Love seeing that. Very, very cool stuff. So that's what I've got so far, guys. But there's some other things too. Things that I wasn't able to, for whatever reasons, no pictures available, just some videos and whatnot. I wanted to also mention the Bearded Villains Miami chapter participated in their annual toy drive. Very successful. They're still, I believe, up till this weekend taking donations. They had tons of different. They had several. They had it was crazy the number of drop-off locations they had arranged. Well over 15, 20 type of locations it looked like. But if you're interested, if you're in the area and you want to drop off toys for their toy drive in Miami, hit them up, Bearded Villains Miami, for further information. Also, something really cool that I found out about the Bearded Villains, going back to the Welsh chapter, BV Welsh chapter. They announced some really cool stuff from their 2021, the year that was for the Welsh chapter. They announced that in 2021, they were able to raise a total of 19,146 pounds, British pounds, for charity. 19,146 pounds. It's so much money. And aside from the money that they raised for charity there, aside from those chapter efforts, some of their brothers' individual efforts, they had brothers with individual fundraising efforts as well, which included things like a 3,000-kilometer walk, 2 different chapter auctions, 4 charity patches. There was a brother involved in fancy dress Halloween sea swim. There was a week-long litter picking and a 24-hour mountain climb that included 9 climbs and descents. And just recently they announced for 2022 that I guess what they do there is they pick a charity for the year that they're going to work for. And their chosen charity for 2022 is SANDS, S-A-N-D-S, whose vision is a world where fewer babies die, and when a baby does die, anyone affected receives the best possible care and support as long as needed. Also, Bearded Villains Lakeshore announced that and thanked everybody who purchased their anniversary patch, helping them raise $2,500 of donations for the Shoebox Project, making Christmas happier for thousands of women who are starting over. Congrats to Lakeshore, Bearded Villains Lakeshore, $2,500 worth of donations for the Shoebox Project. And then finally, I have Bearded Villains East Anglia. I believe I had that last week, their toy drive. So, guys, congratulations. You guys are out there killing it. The Bearded Villain chapters out there in the world are doing some really, really cool stuff. And it's inspiring to see. I just can't get enough of it. It seems like every time I open up Instagram, somebody's out there doing something really cool. And I wish, you know what, if these podcast episodes become, 2 hours because I'm mentioning so many different things that our chapters are doing in the world, hey, more power to us. I would love to be the voice that talks to the world about what your chapters are doing. That's what I'm here for. So big congrats to you guys for everything you're doing there. All right. So one other thing that we created just recently, not too long ago, was a new segment here on the podcast. And we called it 3 Inspiring Minutes. If you recall, 3 Inspiring Minutes. And the 3 Inspiring Minutes that were the idea behind, we just pick a quote or a series of quotes from somebody, and we talk about that for about 3 minutes and see how that could be a very inspirational idea. See what we see. So this week, we're going to talk about Winston Churchill, a quote by Winston Churchill. Now, I wasn't sure exactly who I wanted to include or what quote I wanted to include this week until I just kind of came across this one. And with everything that's going on for me, with everything that's going on around the world in general, this one just seemed to make sense to me. So I want to include this for you for 3 Inspiring Minutes. Winston Churchill once said, "Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts." Once more, success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. Now, the reason why this stuck with me is because one of the things I'm going to be mentioning here in just a little bit is the one-word challenge. And some people, as the year went on, were hesitant to reach back out to me or to respond to me with some updates for their one-word challenge. Some people were fearful that maybe they didn't do as well as they wanted to with their word or how they thought that it was going to push them through the year. I was one of those. I started off the year like gangbusters, and as the year went on, you kind of get busy. You kind of get out of your head, out of your way a little bit, and you just kind of lose your way sometimes. I had all the best intentions in the world with my one-word challenge. But as in life, what I love about this is success is not final. No matter how much success we have in what we do, we have to recognize that that success only lasts as long as you continue to push it. You can't rest. You can't sit back. It's a sports analogy. It's an analogy for life. Once you reach a certain level of success with something that you do, you can't just sit back and be like, okay, that's done. Because as you know, just as soon as you sit back and relax from your success, that success becomes less and less, and you lose your way. But also remember that failure is not fatal. Failure is not fatal. You only fail when you stop trying. You only fail when you stop trying. We're going to fail. You're going to fail. It's part of life. You're going to fail to follow up on something. But you got to keep going. You only fail when you stop. So that's what I love about this quote. Success is not final. You have to do more. You can't just stop. Failure is not fatal, because you will push through if you just keep going. It's that courage to continue that counts. Guys, that's 3 Inspiring Minutes, this time with Winston Churchill. Remember those words. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It's the courage to continue that counts. 3 inspiring minutes this week. So, guys, as I mentioned before, this week podcast episode, we're going to be talking with a couple people that gave us a little bit of an update on their one-word challenge. Now, I had one gentleman who sent in a nice little video for me, and then another one that I was able to speak to live and get a recorded interview. So the first one I want to give you is from Mike, from our brother Mike down in Texas, and he came at us with some good words, and some of his the best parts he didn't even include in this, so I'll talk about that in just a minute. But here's Mike.
What's up, guys? Mike Love here, aka El Gato. Brian asked me to do a video about my one word. My one word was positivity. How has that impacted me, and how has it gone throughout the year? It's been a challenge, but I knew it was going to be a challenge when I picked that word, because it's a rough time, especially now. And I've gone through a deep and dark journey, and I'm using that word, and I'm deflecting all these things, and it's hard, man. It was a challenge, but it was worth it in the end. And at the end of the day, I go to sleep and I know that I did what I had to do to get the job done. And I was positive about it, and I got to share that with people and spread that, and just, it was amazing, and it's been amazing. And I had a blast doing this, and I'm glad that he reached back out, and I love you guys, and stay positive. Things will always get better, I promise. Yeah, love you guys. Bearded Villains, Austin.
Mike, thanks a lot for that. The funniest part about his update is that 2 really positive things that happened, he didn't even include in that update. So I kind of laughed at that, because also this year, what did we say? Positivity, right? He got a new house, and he got a new job. He got a new house and a new job. He didn't even mention that in there. But I still think it was a great message. And you know, what's funny is that didn't even plan it, but it goes back to, he's talking about don't give up, don't, persevere. Goes back to our 3-minute challenge, or our 3 minutes, in that Winston Churchill quote. So, Mike, I appreciate it, man. It's great to see you. It's really nice to see that you stay on track, and stay positive, and help others stay positive as well. Such a great message. Hopefully, you'll want to participate, as more people hopefully will, in our one-word challenge that we're going to be doing again for 2022. Now, our next brother from down in Australia, and I've spoken to him a couple times throughout the year, and I'm talking about Clay. And Clay had a great year and stayed on top of it, and gives us an update on his one word. And the cool thing is that in this video, I said to him off air after we were done recording the interview, I laughed because at the time I was recording the interview with him, it was dark outside, kind of dreary. This time of year, that's what it is here in northern Indiana. And while I'm talking to him, it's a bright, sunny, beautiful day down there. I could hear birds chirping. It was like that first day of spring that you see here in the Midwest. And it's just such a weird thing to be sitting here on an interview, be able to hear as clear as day the noises of a nice, beautiful spring or summer day outside over there, knowing full well that it's nothing like that outside here. But anyway, you'll hear a little bit of that while he's talking. But I'm going to bring in my interview with Clay, short little interview I had with Clay, give us an update on his one-word challenge. Okay, continuing on with our one-word challenge. This year, we also spoke with, earlier in the year, back in January, with Clay, all the way down in Australia. And this dude had a really good word for us, and he has been able to transfer that word onto his life in some really cool ways. He's got a really cool story to talk to us about with how his year has been. So everybody, let's welcome in Clay to the podcast room. I'll get him in here in the room here. And there he is. All right. Clay, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, BP. Thanks for having me back.
Oh man. Hey, when we've been talking, I know a couple times throughout the year, it's been up, down. It's been kind of a crazy year for you down there.
Oh yeah.
But I knew it would be a perfect way to kind of round out the year. Here we are, just a couple weeks to wait to the end of the year, when I wanted to reach back out and see how everybody's words kind of pushed them through the year. If it was something that you even were thinking about during the course of the year. I know everybody's got other things on their mind, but your word you used was focused. Tell me, how did this year go for you?
Yeah, it's been a tough year down here. We've been in and out of lockdowns. I think we've had probably some of the toughest lockdown rules almost in the world. I think we couldn't even. I remember you talking to a couple of the guys a couple of weeks ago on the podcast with, they sort of couldn't really sort of go to the supermarket, but they could still gather in groups of 10. We weren't even allowed to gather in public. Like I haven't seen some of our brothers since January, since our AGM. Like it's been madness.
That's crazy.
So it's been a hard one. It's we've got brothers, almost like patch brothers now that haven't met anybody. It's
oh my gosh,
it's crazy. Yeah, it's the chat is interesting. With trying to sort of figure out who people are just through text alone is a little tough.
Yeah,
but
I bet
we'll push through.
Well, it's funny because talking about that for a second, it's funny because we always say that BV's not just, it's not an internet club. It's not about just being online and talking to people, but in many cases, you guys have kind of had to make it that for now.
Yeah, we've done line meets. We were trying to sort of get like video chats going once a week, once a month. Sort of trying to get various guys rolling through, just to try and put faces to names. And I mean, look, it's you can pretend all you want through carefully curated bloody text messages, but as soon as you're put on the spot face to face, you really start to find out sort of people's true nature. And
yeah.
I mean, it's good. We've got a really solid core of brothers now. I've had some guys sort of come and go throughout the year who just weren't quite the right fit for BV, but not bad people, but I just don't think they quite kind of got our ethos. But yeah, I think our chapter, I think we're like 40 odd strong at least now. Patch brothers. So it's we're one of, I think what the last census, I think, you might have spoken about this before, but I think we're top 5 or 6 chapters for numbers. So
yeah,
it's we're pretty big.
It's interesting because I know definitely you were top 10. But I'm thinking, with everything moving and transitioning, there's been a bunch of people that have left, individual chapters here and there. And it's been for membership anyway, it's the brotherhoods. It's been real crazy because some chapters have really thrived through it. Others have really, really suffered through it and lost some guys. And it's been very difficult where in places like where you're at, because it's almost become an internet club of brothers for the time being. And I can only imagine what it was like. I mean, I know that it's difficult that first 6-8 months sometimes when you're just kind of gaining your bearings, trying to learn what BV's about, but to not be able to, go out and meet your brothers and really see what it's about. I could see easily why people would, kind of go, I guess this isn't for me, because they're not really even seeing truly what it's about.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But like I said, we've got a really good core. Our captains are amazing. Being inclusive, and Evan and Rob I'm sure you've spoken to them at least a couple of times. Are really good guys and have really sort of helped sort of drive our chapter further.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, tell me, I know you've had some really cool stuff pop up, with your personal life too. And I just think it's one of the things that I remember specifically about your message when you talked about focus and where you wanted to place that focus one of the biggest things was family.
Yeah.
And you've really been able to do that, I think, this year. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so we've probably our biggest change, or probably the two. My wife's finished her lab tech course now, so she's started working again for the first time in 9 years. So she's been a stay-at-home mum. She was a carer for her grandmother, and now she's finally sort of out on her own feet. I think it's sort of given her a bit of a sense of purpose. It's also helped drive another one of my focuses of being able to put a solid roof over our kids' heads. So we're making, it's driven up our family income to be able to sort of give us that a bit more of a standing in that. So, and my oldest daughter, we were homeschool, like proper homeschooling, and not remote learning schooling her this year. That had its ups and downs. And her ADHD has really flared this year, I think, without being able to be super social. So we've had to go and see a new pediatrician and a new psychologist, which just put us on a really good path. We're sort of looking at getting her re-diagnosed with a couple of things. They made the call that they think we should put her back into mainstream school. So we've got her re-enrolled for a new school next year, which have a much bigger well-being team than the last one. So I think that's going to be a really big benefit for her. So they're probably the two biggest changes.
Oh man, so cool. I mean, it's especially coming back from where we were last year, and just that at that point when you gave your one word, 12 months ago, and we just didn't know where the world was going to be. We had hopes.
No, absolutely.
We had hopes, but it's so cool to see that, I mean, because I know I've struggled at times throughout this past year, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that during the podcast today. But about being able to push my my ideas, what I wanted to do with my word for 2021, and I haven't been able to follow suit and follow through quite as well as I wanted to in ways. So I'm really excited when I see other people that were able to really kind of take it, and whether it was a focus, whether that word was truly on your mind at various parts of the year, at least it was at the beginning of the year, and that kind of drove your mindset for the year, and you've been able to, stay on course with that, and your family's thriving, and it's a really cool thing to see, man.
Yeah, no, we're kicking ass. Personally, I'd started strength training this year. I was at a gym just close to work, but with the lockdowns, couldn't get there, so I had to sort of put some gear in the shed. It's not a full gym yet, but it's enough of a setup that I'm working with my PT. He's written me a program for all the gear I've got here, so I'm no longer paying the money to someone else to go and use their gear. I just jump into the shed, pound out an hour where I can, and it's sort of helped me. It's my kids are coming down. My son, he loves getting in there and smashing out a workout with me. I mean, he's only 10, but it's
start him young.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Well, I'm so glad to hear it. I'm going to be, of course, because you smashed this out of the ballpark. I'm going to be hitting you up here in a few weeks because we need to build a new trajectory for 2022, and
absolutely.
If you're willing to take part in the one word for 2022, man, we're gonna smash that thing too.
Hell yeah, man! Hell yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, thanks so much for taking a few minutes with me. Like I said, I'm super excited for you, and anytime we see brothers thriving like this, and I love seeing it. So congrats to you, and tell the wife congrats on getting that the education sorted out, and now with the job, that's got to be a weight off your shoulders.
Oh, it's amazing, and just to see her, and it's helped her mental health greatly as well. So she's been at home with the kids. It's been bloody tough, but it's driving her forward as well, which is like amazing for me.
Yeah, that's just incredible, man. Well, enjoy it, man. Enjoy the holidays coming up, and just hug the family, love them, and do you, man.
Yeah, absolutely, PP, absolutely.
All right. Well, thanks so much for talking with me for a few minutes. I appreciate it.
No worries, man. No worries. You have a wonderful day.
All right, you too. Thanks.
Take it easy.
All right, that was Clay. So good to see things going well for him. I laugh because as I'm talking with him, I'm looking over here and seeing a post that he had earlier of him working out, just as he mentions on there. But so far, I've not received a message from our buddy that we're going to have come in live, so I'm not going to assume that's going to happen. I'm just going to go in to talk to you guys a little bit about just as a reminder from my one word for this past year. And I thought I had the perfect word for myself for 2021, and that word was move. I chose move because I thought it would apply to a variety of different areas of my life. And in some ways, I've been able to really grab it by the reins and take hold of it. Other areas, as a perfect example of the quote earlier, and this is one of the reasons why I said it kind of from the 3 minutes, 3 inspirational minutes, it kind of really struck a chord with me, was that I in many ways I was not able to do a lot of what I wanted to do for this year. And I know this time of year we always get to that point, right? We always get to a place mentally where we look back on the year and we say, where did all the time go? And you start to question, was it such a good year for me because I had so many hopes, I had these dreams, I had these goals, and I didn't accomplish them. But it's very easy to look back negatively on the year if you do that. Myself, I wanted to get a rock solid start on a book I want to write. That didn't happen. A lot more brainstorming happened. A lot more idea creating happened. I got further than I was at the beginning of the year on the process of doing it. But there was always something holding me back. There was always something that was preventing me from getting it all done. Whether it just felt like there was a mind block in there, there was something. So that's one way that it would be easy to see and look back on a negative space for the year. Many of you know that I am a big guy, and my hope was that the word move would help propel me in an inspirational way to push myself forward to get to a place of better physical health by the end of the year. And that has not happened nearly like I'd hoped. And it's easy to look back and you can see all the areas where you misstepped, all of the places where you took a step backwards in that area. Myself very easily can do that. But there are other areas where I can say, yes, I did that, but something positive's come out of it. And so it's very easy to look back on what you didn't do or what you didn't do right for the year. So move has helped me out in other ways. One of the things that I really wanted to do when I took on that word move was as a representative of a new BV chapter. Bearded Villains Northern Indiana, our chapter began in November of last year. Coming out of the 2020 year that it was, my goal was to be a representative of our chapter to as many places around the country as I could, at as many different events as I could. And this year, I was able to attend a crazy amount of events all over the country. So Move really helped me in that way. I was really excited that I was able to attend so many different events, and I finally got to meet a ton of brothers that I had not met before. When you don't go to these big meets, a lot of times you miss out. If you stay in your own little box, you miss some of a great portion of what BV is all about. So that was really, really good for me. That was a way that I was able to propel forward and move. Going to Miami, going to the East Coast meet, going down to DSV, going to Knox Villains, having our own event, our first ever event for our new chapter in October of this year. So many different opportunities to go down and help other chapters around the country just to assist in their event. And I was able to do just about every single thing that I wanted to do in the BV world as far as attending different events. So that was a very positive thing for me. One other thing that was very positive for me was I walked into the beginning of this year with an idea. And the idea I had was that I wanted to create a documentary film about what happens, what's going on in the lives of our brothers, what BV is to them. Wanted to make a movie, a film, a documentary film, an amateur documentary film, because this would be my first attempt at doing so. Wanted to make an amateur documentary film about the heart and what drives guys in BV. And I'm excited to say that I've been able to spend several hours interviewing some of our brothers around the country. And I'm working on some of those interviews, editing and different things. I still have many other interviews that I want to do to add to what I already have. And 2022 is hopefully going to be a year where this documentary film will come out. That's the plan. Hopefully in the first half of the year. So excited for that. So Move, my word, has pressed forward and has pushed me. I recognize the missteps. I recognize the failures that I did have in this past year in the ways that I was not able to use Move. But I know full well that I will be able to press forward. Remember, John Lennon once said, "Life is what happens while you're busy making other plans." It's easy for us to plan about things, right? But if there's one thing that the past year has taught me, and the year before that, is that you can't always just plan. It's very easy to say, I plan to do this, I plan to do that. If you have ideas in your head that you want to create something, God forbid something happens to you, the world is then void of whatever contribution you were going to make to the world if you don't do it. Hopefully everybody will join me in pushing themselves forward into next year and making sure that you take those leaps, that you take those extra steps that are necessary so that you can push forward and get things done that you want to get done. Break down the barriers that you're holding yourself to and just push forward and get it done. Don't be stuck at the end of the year saying, if only I were our own worst enemy in that regard. So, guys, I appreciate you being here. Hang on just a second. We're going to get into a little bit of business. If you are looking for an all-natural beard oil that will not only tame your beard and coarse hairs, but make your beard soft and smell amazing, check out Pulpo Beard Oils. Veteran-owned and made for today's beards, Pulpo beard products combine the best beard ingredients on the market with incredible customer service to ensure your happiness. Whether you need beard wash, beard oil, beard balm, or some fun clothing, Pulpo is the place to go. Feel fresh, feel savage, feel confident with Pulpo Beard Oils. Go to Pulpo Beard Oils, that's Pulpo beardoils.com, and use the code The Heart of a Villain for a discount on your order. All right, guys. So you know what happens next. We're going to go into our calendar of events. Cool thing is, we got events still kicking off. We got events still being planned. I know that there's COVID issues. There's some restrictions that are starting to pop back up, some mask mandates and different things. Stay positive, stay focused, and let's get this done. Let's get our brotherhood back, get back to doing what we do, staying on a targeted path of positivity and getting our stuff done, getting the BV name out there, helping out as many people as we can with our charitable efforts, and being able to hang out with our brothers again. Just continuing to do that. This past year was awesome in that regard, and we just need to stay focused and don't let the little stuff bring us down. Make sure that we can push through and get this life lived that we want to live, right? So I apologize to those people that are watching live. I do not have the little scrolling thing because when I transferred to this new machine, it did not move over with it, so I have to redo that whole thing. But didn't get it done in time, but you can deal with it. January 8th, 2022, just a few weeks out, the Smoky Mountain Bearded Villains celebrate their 4-year anniversary with a beard competition. Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, it's benefiting Hinderless 22. Hinderless 22. It's in Pigeon Forge, the Smoky Mountain 4-year anniversary and beard competition, January 8th, just a few weeks out. Then into February we go. February 25th to the 27th, it's LSV, returning to North Texas, LSV 5. I'm going to be there, boys and girls. That's right. That's right. I'm going to be there. It's going to be the first time I've ever been to an LSV. I'm excited for it. Just made the plans this week. So returning to North Texas. Friday night, they're going to have a meet and greet at River Bottom Pub. They got the event, the beard competition with live music on the 26th. Just a really good weekend, looks like. The LSV 5, returning to North Texas, February 25th to the 27th. Then April 1st through the 3rd is DSV 6. DSV 6, San Antonio, Texas, hosted by the Bearded Villains of South Texas. No further details on that right now. They're all being worked out. So DSV 6 is the plan. April 1st through the 3rd in San Antonio. Then May 6th through the 8th, I have on the schedule Beardo de Mayo. I don't have any details on that. I know that it's going to be in Ohio. De Mayo in Ohio. Beardo de Mayo in Ohio. May 6th through the 8th. So pay attention for details. Hit up the Ohio brothers if you need some details right away, because I've been chomping at the bit to get them. May 6th through the 8th. And then in June 10th through the 12th. June 10th through the 12th, the West Coast meet in Seattle. West Coast meet in Seattle, Washington. Brought to you by the West Washington and East Washington Bearded Villain chapters. So that's June 10th through the 12th. West Coast meet. Very, very cool stuff, guys. That's what I got on the schedule for right now. If there's anything I'm missing, any big events or even little events that you might want to let everybody know about, please hit me up and I'll get it on the calendar of events for us. I want to be able to share the stuff and talk about the stuff and let other brothers out there know what's going on in the world, so we can help you out. We can participate. We can be there for you. I love to travel in CBV, so anytime I can, I'm going to get on it. We're going to do it. Well, guys, thank you so much for being here live. Thank you so much for hanging out with me for a little bit on a Thursday night for the last time here on the 16th of December. That's going to do it for episode 113 of The Heart of a Villain. Remember, you can still buy shirts, patches, pins, all that good stuff at theheartofavillain.simplecast.com. You can also listen to all previous 112 episodes, but you may not want to listen to that many at once. The last several are pretty decent, the last 50 or so, but the first few are pretty rough, but you know that. So, guys, I hope that you have a great week. I'm going to see you back here next week for episode 114. I want to challenge all of you, as I always say, to be the villain that the world needs you to be, because the heart of a villain never stops beating. Now, the most important words I say every week, guys, you know it, and I can't say how important they are. I can't overstate it. It's okay not to be okay. If you are hurting, please find a brother to talk to. Remember, it's okay not to be okay. So, guys, for now, have a great night. Enjoy this weekend. Enjoy the week ahead. Take care and stay safe.
From the start to the finish, go hard and we win, and it's the heart of a villain, it's the heart of a villain. From the start to the finish, go hard and we win, and it's the heart of a villain, it's the heart of a villain. Hey yo, heart of a villain beats hard in the centrifuge. Beer to BP, 100 interviews. All it takes